Hi everyone, welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are doing well. Um, I'm going to be taking a break on Monday because I have been doing so much and haven't had any rest where I have the whole day to myself to rest. So I'm going to be working on doing that on Monday. So probably Monday I might not do a video. I'm not even you know, I even took a day off, which I rarely do, but it's necessary because I'm really tired and, I need to take care of myself. I'm always talking about that, but I need to do more to self care because it's so important. So I'll be doing that on Monday. However, I'll be back Tuesday to resume the videos with you guys. Just wanted to give you a heads up. How is your day going, everyone? It's Tuesday. The weather's a little nice. This morning it was so cold, but it's a lot better today, this afternoon. So enjoy yourself. Go for a walk. If you have pets, take your pets out. Self-care, guys. Just take care of yourself. I'll tell you guys something which is kind of difficult, but, I do one day at a time. For a long time, I have not been experiencing those grief triggers that I told you about. And then Sunday, for like Sunday and Monday, oh, it was just hard, even though I did video, because I wanted to tell my mother something. I want to talk to her so bad, guys. And I'm like, wow, even after all this time, it's still hard. I don't know how many of you are going through grief, if you're going through it or what's happening, but it's hard. You can be okay for a long time and then boom, something happens and you feel the grief and it feels like you're carrying those bricks or burdens. It's just unexplainable to me. And I just had to work my way through it. He said I do things to help myself so that I don't get into a place of anxiety because of it or anything else, and I talk to my therapist once a week. I still talk with him. And, I listen to music. Music heals my soul. No matter how tired I am, no matter how busy I am, I always have some music going, because it helps tremendously, guys. So music heals your soul. If you have a playlist of music, make sure that you access that because that's part of self-care as well. But let me tell you about grief, guys, and the pain that's associated with it. The pain from the grief will change your life forever, especially when you lost so many people who love you and meant so much to you. And I'm thankful for God for lifting me up because I have my days where I feel great, and then I have these days where it's like so hard. But I do one day at a time, one step at a time. I do things to build myself up. But I'm not the same person that I used to be. With the healing and with the losses push me to heal. Push me forward to heal. Because you're losing people, especially like I said, and people say, oh, you talk about it a lot. Yeah, 15 people died during the shutdown. One was a really close friend who, she was a gentle soul, a nice person. I actually volunteered at the church, at the soup kitchen with her, and everybody loved her, and we were supposed to get together, just have lunch or something. And then my neighbor comes upstairs where I was living at the time, because I no longer live in that area, that she passed away. I'm like, what do you mean? I just got off the phone with her 2 days ago. What do you mean she passed away? And she did, and I didn't believe her, and I was getting upset with her for even saying something like that. And then sure enough, I found out that she had passed away and was found in her apartment. It was just, I did go to that funeral. And it was just the saddest thing in the world. guys. And I'm talking about this because there's so much toxicity, so much hell and negativity coming out of people's mouth, their behavior and things, and not knowing that we all have an expiration date, and it can happen at any given time. And God is going to look at what you did for somebody else. Did you treat them right? Were you there when they needed you? Or did you just screw over them? You know, because it's just, and people don't think like that. Oh, yeah, whatever. Until something unexpected happens. You know, tragedies and unexpected deaths, all these things can change your life forever, guys. Especially when it's someone that you value, you love a lot, you know? And so losing her, losing my mother, my dog, it just kept going on like an unending saga, and just a domino effect of pain. And I had to sit in that pain. Like I said, nobody else was there to say, hey, you okay? Except for the church that I volunteered at. They all came, and they brought sympathy cards. It was during the shutdown. They were masked up. They had food. They had flowers. They had sympathy cards. They prayed for me. And that meant a lot. But I said to myself, wow, strangers that I don't know well, even though I did volunteer at this church, treated me better than my own family members. And this is why I don't have anything to do with them, because they live in the past of what was done when we were kids way back when, or when you were a child and you were this, you were that, etc., the black sheep, whatever. You know, they live. So I leave them back there in the past because I don't live in the past. You know, I've really worked very, very hard to heal myself and to transform myself to the person that I am today. And I like who I am today because I'm not that person that people can push over anymore. I'm not that person that people that I'm subservient to anymore. And I'm going to tell you how I feel, whether you like it or not. I am going to be honest, and instead of, not that I wasn't honest before, but I would just keep certain things inside and let it build up. I don't do that anymore. I let people know. And if people push too hard with the toxicity and negativity, I let them know they're getting ready to get cut off. You know, I'm getting ready to cut the cord on this. And when they continue, they think it's a game because I don't allow myself to get crazy anymore like I did in the past before the healing process. Screaming and yelling, oh, and being overly emotional about stuff. Because to me, it's not worth it. Life is too short. Let me get the music back on, guys. There's a lot of commercials on here. And it's just, it's too much. You know, life is too short to allow yourself to be drawn into the toxicity. And I'm not talking about disagreements. We all have them, etc. But I'm talking about just screaming and, you know, emotional. I tell people if they don't believe me, that's on them. You know, and I don't have to make a grand entrance or exit or any of that. And then when it happens, they are like a surprise. And because I just don't have any room for the toxicity in my life anymore. I've went through 1,000 lessons, probably more, because I repeated so many of them because I just wasn't learning. And when I did finally learn, I got off that wheel that was spinning to nowhere. So today, you know, everything I do, even getting to know people, I take my time because I need to know if these people are right for who the new me is. Because I'm not that old Lisa who would be just happy. Oh, she wants to be in my life. And, you know, I don't do any of that stuff anymore. You know, I live my life to the fullest. And, you know, I'm busy a lot. And if I include somebody in it, that means I really like you and want you to be part of my life. Otherwise, you know, and I just take my time, try to have fun, enjoy my life to the fullest, because that's what my mom would have wanted as well as myself. And after I healed all these things, guys, I like the new me, you know, because some people hate the new me, believe it or not, but that's not my problem. And one of the reasons why some of them do, because they can't control me anymore. They have no control over me. They try to, which I allowed before. Like I tell you guys that you can take back your power. You don't have to give people your power. The reason why they have the power over you is because you handed it over to them. And that's what I used to do. And now I have snatched back that power. And, people who are narcissistic and determined to do the most and the worst get cut off, blocked, and deleted from my life. And if they continue to come towards me, then, I go and get what's necessary involved. That's all I'm going to say about that. Whatever I have to do to maintain my peace. But I like the fact that I have grown a lot and I didn't succumb to the trials and tribulations, because it can be easy, especially losing people or week after week. There was a phone call about a death of somebody, and it's very difficult, but God helped me through it. He was the only one there besides the people I just mentioned who came with gifts and prayers, and it took a long time. And I had to say to myself, folks, if God thinks I'm worth it, because I just felt like everything was being lost, and if he was there to lift me up, and I know he was, because there was miracles and things that happened I haven't even talked about yet, and the only one who can do that is God. Okay, because I wasn't doing anything. I was just knee deep in all this pain and grief. And as I started to do the work, God started to work with me. He started to do things behind the scenes. I'm like, why? Who am I? What? But my self-esteem was less than zero. I had to build that up again. And one of the reasons why it was like that is because dealing with narcissistic individuals, a lot of abuse, mostly verbal. Some of it started to get physical, and I had to jump ship because I'm just not going to allow that. And, then you leave one situation, you go into another one, after you think you healed that, and a person is just as bad as the one that you left. So I had to learn, what am I doing wrong here? Why am I repeating these cycles? Because I wasn't learning lessons. Remember, I talk about people, circumstances, and situations come into our lives for a reason, season, or lifetime. And until I learned the lessons, those doors were not being shut. The cycles were not ending. It was repeating itself. And each time it repeated itself, it was worse than ever. So as I closed doors to people who no longer served me and people who were in my life for the wrong reasons, I had to close those doors, and I learned to do that. And it doesn't matter what they say, guys, because I don't care anymore. And when I get to the point where I'm unbothered, I just tune it out, because I've done so much work to heal. And, now what my mission is, besides self-care, is to help others to know that they can do it. They don't have to sit knee deep in that pain, whether it's grief, whether, they ended a relationship or they had to leave some, abusive situation. You are not alone. There's sources and help out here. And one of the first places I started was therapy, prayer, because like I said, if God thought I was worth it, I had to think that I was worth it as well. And it took a long time to build up my self-esteem to where it is now. So the noise that people are doing and talking and saying horrific things, I hear stuff, but I tune it out, because I say to myself, these people are still riding that toxic will, and they haven't healed. So since they haven't healed, that's on them. But I'm over here, and I've closed many doors. At first, I cried about it a lot, but now, I'm thankful for it, because if you have these doors of toxicity open and you don't close them, you will never heal, because it repeats itself, going around and around and around, like that wheel, that Ferris wheel that's going around to no destination. And I had to learn to jump off that ride, because I needed to work on me, put me first. And with all these different so-called friendships, family connections, or even relationships, out of all the toxicity, and it started to feel like those walls were closing in with all that stuff, I decided to choose me. Because as I chose myself, then I know that I would heal these things, but it was going to take time. I had to address that elephant in the room, the pain. And it's important to do that. And it's not easy, guys, because you got to look at childhood trauma, stuff that happened, and change the broken mindset. Because like the broken mindset for me was, what happens in this house stays in this house. And if that's the case, nobody ever heals. Nobody ever can grow, because they're not acknowledging the elephant in the room that's growing and getting bigger every day, because it's not being acknowledged, and everyone is pretending it doesn't exist. And so it just gets worse over time. So it's so important to address these issues. Otherwise, you can't heal from it. So with that being said, the grief I've been feeling, I deal with it. I let it happen. I don't allow myself to stay there too long. And I go into prayer asking God to help me. And I find creative ways to get through it. And music is one of the things that helps a lot. Going for a walk. I'm thinking about in the future, getting another pet. Because pets, love you unconditionally, and it's something therapeutic about them. They're part of the family as well. So with that being said, guys, I said all of this to just let you guys know what's going on. But I feel a lot better today. Feel, a little tired, but I'm a lot better. Also, guys, remember, I'm not a therapist, social worker, or counselor. Just somebody who's going through hell and then some. And I talk about ways to overcome instead of succumbing. And I think it's important, here that I be my authentic self. And, because you have some people who just fake this, fake that, fake love, fake hugs. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm just myself. Some people or many people will gravitate to me and others won't. And that's okay. But I'm here to uplift and talk about ways how I overcame these trials and tribulations, because many people might be going through this, but they may not communicate or talk about it. They actually might be privately going through these things. So, when they show up here, they hear something that may resonate with them. And perhaps if you apply it to your own situation, it may help you get through those circumstances. So with this being said, the topic of discussion, I know that was really long and a lot. Now the topic of discussion, when you love yourself. Guys, is so important. And I talk about this and emphasize it probably in many of my videos, because it's important to love you. If I didn't love me or learn to do that, my self-esteem will still be less than zero, and I wouldn't be able to heal properly, grow, and evolve. When you love yourself and you start to realize that you are worth it just as much as the next individual, you start to look at life differently. You start to change that broken mindset. You start to self-care. You think of even more ways, how can I take care of my health, my mental and physical health better? If I do this or that, will it add to me, being healthy? And you look for ways, to do this. And as you self-love, you self-care. And eventually, as you continue to move forward, you start to and clean up things in your life that no longer serve you. You start to acquire inner peace. And I'm at that place of that inner peace, and all the noise and whatever people want to engage in, I leave them to it. I'm unbothered by the toxicity and noise, because I won't allow it in my life. And people try to, what I use the metaphor of, if I'm closing the door and they are going to stick their foot in the door so it doesn't close all the way, then there will be repercussions to that. Whatever authorities, whatever has to happen, because my peace is not for sale. My peace is priceless, and I've worked hard to get from A to B to C to here. you know, and I need to stay focused on building up and motivating others as well as myself, because a lot of people are suffering right now, going through something that other people may not even know. Their own family may not even know they're going through it, and they may not feel comfortable talking about it. But when we come on here, we talk about it, you hear the message, and you go away feeling uplifted instead of worse than when you came on, because there's a lot of toxicity going on right now, and people are, you know, it seems like that's the norm in this world today, you know. And I've seen a lot of things that's been going on that's not cool, that's not good at all. And when people come to me with that, I pull back my energy, my time, because I'm not going to engage in it. And they wonder why, but I'm going to tell you why, you know, because like I said, it's better to be in a place of peace than broken down into pieces. So guys, work on healing yourself from these things, addressing things that are painful through therapy. You know, your therapist may tell you or not, you know, I'll tell you how I started was with a pro and con list. And when I did that, I realized I was an overgiver, giving too much to the wrong people who didn't appreciate who I was. You know, so I had to pull back my time and energy and take it and put it into me and build me up, and then close many doors so that God can open up new doors over here with better situations and better people, you know. And I guess also one of the reasons probably why the grief came on too, we're getting close to the holiday time, and holiday time is always hard sometimes, you know. But one day at a time, one step at a time. So guys, let me know in the comment category how these videos are helping you, and let me know what you're getting from it. But like I said, I talk from a space of my own personal experiences and how I get through them. You know, music, I write a lot as well, and I look at other uplifting videos that help, and I surround myself with peaceful things, you know, and people. It's so important. Be around people who uplift your spirit, not those who tear it down. Well guys, with this being said in this video, I also want to share some other ways that I have recently been, you know, helping myself to, you know, stay in a place of healing and moving forward and just having peace, is just finding things that I can purchase that help me. I recently, in one of my prior videos, talked about a pillow because I was having trouble sleeping at night, and I went and bought this really soft pillow. I paid about $25 for it, but it really helps me to sleep, because after 10-15 minutes I'm asleep. And last night really slept really well. Things that's going to help you, that's going to alleviate anxiety or stress. You know, I have even a bracelet that I have on that I wear that's anxiety bracelets, things. So look at the end of this video, there's some links there. Look at those links. There's something like weighted blankets, that all these things will help with the anxiety. It may not take it away completely, but it will ease the anxiety, you know. And find ways to do this, guys. And as you take these baby steps and you continue to do it persistently and consistently, you will see the results. I didn't see results overnight. It took time. But as I continue to persevere through all these things, I'm at a place now where things feel more peaceful instead of chaotic and toxic, because I remove all of that from my life, and I know not to ever let those things back in. So that's the message today, guys. I'm going to do a second video because I'm going to have to upload that for tomorrow, because I probably won't be here tomorrow. But I will have a second video posted. Thank you for being here, guys. Remember, the key factor is to persevere through all this and to continue to focus on self-care. This is Lisa, shedding love and light. Thank you for being here today, guys, and have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.